Hello everyone, welcome back. My name's Ahan, and I'm prototyping tools for a tactics game that I'm making. Last time we got our pathfinding movement working with our nice arrow to indicate where our character's going to go, and this sprint was planned was to get our turn-based mechanics in to have multiple people moving around, and let me tell you, it was a bit of a shitter of a sprint. Bit of a shit 2 weeks in terms of work, but for good reason. Lots of good stuff happened. I bought a house. I am officially in debt, so like and subscribe because I am broke. And went camping, bought a new computer. If you want to see what it looks like, someone that's in between houses, look at this stuff. Very this is my work environment right now. Very tidy. So not a lot of work got done. Let's be honest. I did get our turn-based mechanics working, so we have guys moving around, taking turns nicely. I guess before we talk about turn-based mechanics, we only have one guy on the screen. We should introduce some other people, right? Introducing Todd, Ted's ultimate enemy. Todd and Ted used to be best friends, but Ted wanted to play knights, wanted to play medieval knights, but Todd wanted to play pirates, and so now they're fighting over it. That's the story of my entire game. Masterful. I don't know what I'm talking about. We can introduce the other guys. We got Tad and Tid and James and Gary. I couldn't think of any more. I couldn't think of any more T names. So turn-based mechanics. How do they work? How do you do it? Really, it's not that difficult, honestly. It really depends on how your turn order is going to work. So to do turn-based mechanics, you basically need three lists, right? You need team A, team B, and then your ordered list of how it's going to go. And the complexity comes from the ordered list and how you want to do that. And there's no right way to do it. It's how you do it is going to be dependent on the game you want to make and the type of game you want to make. There's so many, as I was thinking about this, there's so many different types and different ways this has been done. I think way back in the very first video, I said that there's two types of turn-based combat. And what an underestimation. I said that there's team-based, turn-based mechanics, like, and I used Fire Emblem as an example. So where your entire team gets to move before, and then you end your turn, and then the entire enemy team gets to move. And then there's like stat-based mechanics where everyone's ordered based on something like speed, and that's it. And it's kind of true, but the stat-based, turn-based order is a big misrepresentation of what it actually is, because most game, well, not most, well, I don't know, but I say that, and it's like an assumption that it's a hard set list, but it never really is. If we use something like Final Fantasy X as an example, there's times where your fast characters can move twice before a slow character, right? So that means it's not a hard set order. There's something else going on in the background. With Final Fantasy in particular, because it's like the Mac Daddy of fucking turn-based games, they have like a tick thing going on. So your speed calculates. So each turn, your speed gives you a tick value, and every turn you gain that value. And when you hit 100, it's your turn. So that's how it's calculated. You don't just go to the bottom of the list. You go to where you are in terms of how many ticks it will take you to reach 100. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Maybe I need to do another sprite thing. We'll see. And then I was watching a friend play Trials of Cold Steel, the Legend of Heroes game, and it has kind of like it does. I think it might do the same thing, but it has like a delay system as well, where depending on the action you take, that changes where you land on the list and how far down the list you go. It's just so many levels to it. And then I was thinking about Divinity Original Sin 2, where that is a hard set turn order. The only way to change the turn order now, I think, is if you die and you revive, you come back to life. But it's just crazy how many different ideas you have in terms of with the order. Getting turn-based mechanics to work is not a complicated thing. The complexity comes from game design and how you want your battles to work ultimately. I did want to get some combat in this sprint, but I didn't have time. I had to buy a house, and a lot of my free time over the weekends and stuff is gone while I'm getting ready to move. So that's going to be probably the next couple of weeks. I'm probably going to be a little bit behind. But look, life gets in the way. You can't. At the end of the day, this has to be fun, and I can't get in the way of real life shit, because real life shit is what you just can't ignore. Real life shit. That's just because it's shit. And yeah, that's it. But how it's working right now is we have our 6 characters walking away, and because there's no combat, they kind of just do this weird dance around each other. But it's all working. It's working nicely. There's nothing. I'm trying to think about some kind of like complex technical thing that I can explain and talk to you about, but there really isn't much to it, honestly. It's just figure out how you want to order it. As a good starting point, just order it by a stat, so speed, if you want to do what I'm doing, because that's what I'm doing right now. And the plan is to, I think I'm going to try and emulate maybe Trials of Cold Steel, because I think that's kind of cool. The idea of actions have value based on where you land in the turn order. I think that sounds kind of cool. Just toy around with the whole idea. I had an idea. Feel free to give me some feedback on what you think of the idea, because I'm kind of back and forth if this is a good idea or not. But what if, instead of worrying about the prototype for the game I have in my head, I just made a generic tactics game that kind of just applies to any, that would work like any other tactics game you've ever played. There's no specifier, no unique mechanics to it, and put that on the asset store as like a nice starter point for people that want to make tactics games. Because if you're not technical or you're new to this, getting to this point would be kind of difficult for a lot of people. And I think it might be something valuable and something that people might want. It'd be kind of interesting to see. I've never put it on the asset store, and I've never really seen videos of people talking about selling assets. And it is a profitable thing. There's entire companies based around creating and selling assets, so it might be cool. It obviously would slow down the development of the game I want to make, but at the very least it might be a cool video. So just throwing that out there in the space, see if anyone has any opinions on that or any ideas on it, because it might be cool, and it might make it be a cool video if I do, like, 1 month results of my asset pack. We'll see. I need to do some research. We'll see. But yeah, that's really it. Bit of a shitter. This one, it's rushed. It's but I didn't want to miss a video. So yeah, if you like it, if you have anything to say, put it in the comments. I would appreciate any kind of feedback, as always. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. We're going to be doing next. We're focused on combat, right? We need to get some UI in and get some combat attacking each other. We're getting close to me having a game. It's not a game yet, but we're getting close. I can see the end line. But yeah, I'm paddling on. See you later, guys. Thanks. See you in 2 weeks.